I'm Simon Joshua. I work for Harrow Carers, but I'm based full-time at Northwick Park Hospital. I'm the unpaid carers support lead for the hospital. So I look after unpaid carers, so family members who are caring for patients who've been admitted into one of the wards in the hospital. I've got experience of being a carer. I looked after my parents for about 12 years. My mum had dementia. Both parents were admitted into Northwick Park a few times. They were quite lucky. But they both passed away here in the hospital. So I have a connection to the hospital. Mum used to work in maternity for many years. So it's nice to be able to give something back to the hospital community and the patients and carers here. The demands on unpaid carers are huge in terms of the time that they spend caring for the person. It could be virtually 24/7, but they also may have to give up their careers and friends and family in order to carry out that role. So it's so important that we give as much support as possible to unpaid carers. In the UK, unpaid carers are saving the UK economy something in the region of £445 million per day, which equates to something like £162 billion a year, which is just short of the entire budget for the NHS in 1 year. In my work, I'm trying to observe the principles of the triangle of care so that everybody's involved in discussions about treatment and also discharge. It's so important to involve the carer. They often have a lot of information about the patient, and they should also feel as though they're being supported so that they can continue in that role and they're ready to continue when the patient is ready for discharge. We're able to support carers and the patients throughout the period of time in the hospital. We find that many carers particularly feel as though they're not included in discussions about the treatment and also what happens once the patient is ready to be discharged. And what we try to do is communicate their wishes and their needs to the medical teams and also to social services and the discharge teams so that a suitable package is put in place for them when the patient's discharged. One of the recent cases that I've been dealing with, the patient is an elderly lady. She's cared for normally by her daughters, but she actually lives on her own in a flat, and she's been discharged 3 times, and they've been failed discharges because she's been readmitted into hospital every single time. So what we're trying to do at the moment is support to get her a nursing home placement. One of the cases that I've been dealing with recently has concerned an elderly lady who's been looked after by her husband. He was quite adamant that he wanted her to go home, whereas she had initially been placed on a palliative care pathway. We managed to speak to social services and spent a lot of time speaking to the husband just to establish what his needs were and what the wishes of the family were. And we managed to get her discharged home and with an enhanced package of care that's helping to support both her and also her husband in caring. He's also receiving some hours of respite every week, which is really helping.